Welcome everyone to a brand new series in Hearts of Iron 4. I actually intended to do something a little different, but now we have the new downloadable content available for the game, and it's got some great new features that I just want to show off a little bit, and one of them is right here in your career profile. Now, you'll see I don't have a lot in the way of stats here because I very rarely play the game on this computer, and I very rarely play it with the base game rather than mods. So there's not a lot of stats that have accumulated for me, even though I've got thousands, of hours in this game. And you can break it down by what country you've played and different things like that. So it's a lot of fun to just look at this: your longest battle, your largest battle, highest casualties, highest enemy casualties, the most tanks, the largest army, largest navy and air force, and you can just go on and on and on about all kinds of different statistics that you can see even in the different kinds of downloadable content that they have available. So that's just really neat and kind of fun to By Blood Alone's the new one. So there's obviously nothing there. You can look at different awards that you can get. If you achieve certain statistics, you get these medals. You get ribbons for different things. There's a lot more here that I'm going to go into right now. And then you can use those career points to unlock new profile pictures, which is just kind of a fun little perk that you can get. There's a lot new to the game, and we'll kind of cover some of it as we go along. There are new focus trees for Ethiopia, Italy, and Switzerland. We're not going to be playing as any of those nations this time, though, because I've got something I've been wanting to do for a while, and I thought this might be a fun time to do it. We're going to take on the role of the Kingdom of Hungary. We're going to see if we can recreate the Austro-Hungarian Empire. So let's dive in. Okay, so here we go. First things first, always go right into the national focus. My goal here is to recreate the Austro-Hungarian Empire, which means we're going to go down the monarchy tree. We're going to elect a king. We're going to invite the Habsburg prince. And then we're going to demand a referendum by the Austrians for them to vote on whether or not to join us. If they say no, we'll invade. And we'll restore Austria-Hungary that way, and then we can kind of go down further in that path. In the meantime, there are other options, including electing a fascist king and joining the Germans, but I don't think I'm going to go that route. That doesn't mean I won't at some point join them. It's just not the route I'm going to go to begin with. So we're pretty limited by this Treaty of Trianon, which is kind of a mini version of the Treaty of Versailles. That basically means that I am very disarmed as a nation. I have no manpower at all. I've got a very small army, only about 40,000 men in my army, and really no way to grow that, at least until we go to war. And it's only after we go to war that we'll be able to expand that. We've got some ways to add some new research slots, so we'll definitely do that when the time comes. And in the meantime, we'll just start queuing up some we're actually going to queue up some military factories, because those are what I need more than anything else, even more than the civilian factories. We're just really not going to have a lot in the way of civilian factories no matter what we do. I'm going to start working on some artillery here. So right off the bat, Germany has gotten into a civil war. I like to play with the AI historic focus that's turned off, because I love for the game to just be completely different every time, and that's exactly what's going to happen here with a German civil war happening. We're going to see if they can overthrow their current government. We've got 198 political power. Not a lot I can do with that right now because I can't change my economy. I can change my trade, but I'm not going to do that right now. I can't change my conscription law. So let's go ahead and start with smooth talking charm. No, let's do silent workhorse. That'll give me that bonus to political power gain, which will be nice to have right off the bat. We do need to make some trades happen. I don't know who I'm going to side with quite yet, honestly. So we're going to side with the German military junta, thinking that maybe they're going to be the ones that win that. So one of the things we have now is the ability to design airplanes, much like we're able to design ships and tanks previously. We can do the same thing with planes now. We've got all of these different features that we can add to our planes and really just kind of maximize the customization, which I really like. And that'll certainly be something that we'll get into down the road, but right now we're not even worried about our air power. We also have, I think this is a new feature, and that's been a while since I played the game, this cohesion factor, which is you can choose flexible cohesion. Divisions will relocate from long distances in order to maintain a battle line. Balanced cohesion, they'll only relocate medium distances, and then rigid means they'll only move short distances. This setting is not suitable for sparsely populated or rapidly changing front lines. Close attention is required. So far, looks like things are going pretty good for the civil war for the German military junta. They have lost far fewer casualties. They seem to have a larger army, and they are starting to gain some ground. We've got 2 new research slots that are now available. We're going to go concentrate in industry. We'll go ahead and do construction 1 as well. And we've got our new national focus. Time to elect a king. We're also about to have enough political power. Yugoslavia recognizes the Soviet Union, so we see which direction they're headed. Let's go ahead and use this now to add a chief of the army that's going to help us with our division attack. That's also going to give us a ton of military experience, 0.3 per day, which is going to really very rapidly give me the ability to get new doctrines as well as make changes to my division builds. So I've made my changes. I've got my kind of standard width of 20 with my divisions. I don't have a lot of flexibility there. I don't even know if that's still the best way to do it these days. But that's what we're going to do. And you can see here what we need for reinforcements just to get my existing divisions up to full strength. So that's going to take some time. We have elected a king. We're going to invite the Habsburg Prince to become our king. He's going to take over for Miklos Horthy, who currently is kind of a fascist-leaning sort of guy. But you can see right now the Legitimists, which are the monarchy party, he's actually the monarchy party leader, but he would also be the party leader for the fascists. So either way it goes there. So we're about to invite the Habsburg Prince. There it is. Otto von Habsburg is now our Hungarian monarch. And now we start to look down the road to demand a referendum from the Austrians. We'll see what they do. If they say no, we could declare war. Got to be careful, because I think if I declare war now, it's going to start out pretty rough until we can... we want to make sure we have enough political power to make the changes we need to start conscription and start getting men into our army. We also want to build up a nice supply of equipment to start replacing our losses. We've completed all of our current research. We're going to start working on some light tanks. See if we can get some things that we can do some breakthrough with. We'll start researching some associated things with that. We'll probably just add those to our infantry divisions when the time comes. We're super close to the referendum now. We're just 15 days away. Still no manpower, and that's not going to change until we can start making some changes to our existing conscription policy, which right now is a disarmed nation. Here we go. Come on. Let's accept it. Accept it. Come on. Accept it. They defeated the referendum, which means we can get an annex war goal against Austria, which we will gladly take. So now we can't restore Austria-Hungary until we actually take the territory. So at this point, then, we're going to switch, and we're going to start working on building up our economy, our infrastructure, things of that nature. I'm not going to launch the attack quite yet. I want to give a little bit of time to build up our military. Now you can see here that we've got a surplus of infantry equipment now, so I want to start getting that artillery caught up. Once that's caught up, we'll launch the invasion. So the good news is I do seem to have an advantage here. The bad news is that supply is a major problem. And because I've got so few factories, it's just going to take a long time, even for construction, to build a supply hub over here. supply depot is going to take like 2 years. So we're just not going to be able to wait for that. We're going to have to take our chances. I think it's going to be really slow at first, but if we can take Vienna and push them up here into the mountains, by then I think we'll be able to start recruiting more troops. We should be able to kind of move the balance of power in our direction. And we can't wait too long, because if we wait too long, Germany may try to Anschluss Austria, though they're in the middle of their own civil war, so I'm not entirely sure that that's going to happen, because it looks like they're about to be overthrown there. So let's see what happens. We'll go ahead and start into this. We're at war. 42,000 men in the field. He probably outnumbers us. Pretty even on both sides as far as factories and divisions go. So like I said, at first going to be a little tough. But I think once we're into war and we are able to make some changes to some of this stuff, then it should get a little better. Let's see how the initial attack goes. There we go. Secret rearmament. We have removed the treaty. Now we can start changing things like our conscription law. So now we'll be able to start recruiting some manpower. Hopefully get that 42,000 up. I'm thinking I'm going to need at least a 100,000 man army to do this. Initially, we may be better off not even to actually attack. We may just want to sit back and kind of let things build up. Okay, so now we're into March of 1937. He has pushed me back a little bit, but we're going to start seeing the balance turn now. We already have increased the size of our army from 40,000 to 60,000. We've added a new division. We've got 17 divisions now. Things are going to start to stabilize a little bit. I think we're going to go ahead and go up to partial mobilization now, and then we'll do our next conscription policy after that. But let's take a look and see where we're at on production. You can see we're significantly behind now on the amount of infantry equipment and artillery that we need in order to be able to keep the war effort going. We've lost 16,000 men. He's lost 8,000. But again, that balance in terms of number of men in the field is going to start swinging my way. A couple of months, I think we'll be able to build our army up and launch an attack. So there's some big news to my north, where the German Reich was annexed, and so the Civil War is complete. So that's going to dramatically change things there. Let's take a look at them for a second. So you can see here, August von Mackensen now rules Germany. We don't know what their focus is just yet. My manpower in the field now, we have 88,000 men in our army. Don't have them well equipped, however. That's just the reality of the situation. We desperately need some equipment for that, but I think we'll go ahead and see what happens if we can start wearing them down. All right, here we go. Some more support domestic industry. Let's go ahead and get some civilian factories going. Looks like we might push back and retake some of the territory that we lost. We've got 10 divisions against his 1. There we go. All right. We also got a doctrine. That's huge for us. I like the idea of superior firepower. That gives me a 10% bonus to soft attack, because I'm primarily just infantry right now, so that's pretty big for me. Numbers now, you can see they're going up pretty even, but again, I think that favors me because we're starting to get the advantage in manpower. Alright, things are looking good. We're throwing off some tax. We just unlocked something. Military mastery. Fight a battle with a certain number of positive modifiers affecting the battle. We collected bronze for that. So there's our first one of those that we've seen. In the meantime, here's what the numbers look like as we get into July. We've lost 34,000 men. He's lost 32. We've evened those numbers out, but now we have nearly 100,000 men in the field. So we're going to start tipping that balance of power in our direction, even if it means we lose some men in the process. Of course, the main issue right now is equipment, but it's getting better. We're not doing too bad on the equipment front now. I think once we get a breakthrough, we'll really see a quick change. There goes Japan declaring war on China. Let's get our 3 additional building slots in northern Hungary. Looks like we might be making some progress here in the north. Alright, we've got modified government again. We're going to go ahead and go to limited conscription, which is going to get us some additional manpower, because we're kind of down a little bit at the moment. We could definitely use some more. There's a civil war in Mexico. Alright, we're still at about 84,000. Casualties are staying about the same on both sides. But here comes a big boost in manpower. We're going to start seeing that number rise back up again for the army. There we go. We just took another territory. We're starting now to push toward Vienna. Oh, he just made a little bulge there, but we'll very quickly take that back. We're about to have the fight for Vienna. We keep going back and forth right there. Let's see. Can we add something to the spirit of the army? We're almost there on army experience. There we go. Quick improvisation, proper heritage, overwhelming firepower. I like that. I like that too, because that reduces the cost of land doctrines. But I think right now I like the idea of... You can design artillery units now. Okay. Did not realize that. What about preferred tactics? Suppressive barrage. Let's do that. There we go. We're pushing through in the south. We got the trucks, which will now, I think, allow me to get field hospitals, which I'd like to have. Alright. Hopefully very soon we're going to be able to... We're pushing further in the south. We push in the middle. Vienna should be the next stop. So he has been constantly attacking me along this front, which has actually been really helpful because his casualties have mounted. He's at almost 84,000 now. So we're basically going to try to bleed him dry. And I'm up to 48,000 in my manpower pool. I just wish I had the equipment that I need for that. In the meantime, just looking at what's happening in the rest of the world, there's not a lot happening. At least not in Europe. But we're going to let him keep attacking me here. We'll keep bleeding him dry, and then hopefully at some point we'll be able to jump in and grab Vienna and start moving toward victory. We do have a free military factory. That's helpful. Yeah, he's now 30,000 more than I have. We've got 30 in army experience. What can we do about maybe starting to build some tanks? Let's take a look at those for a second. We're going to go with the improved light tank chassis. Let's get a machine gun on that bad boy. We might mess with this a little bit later. Track suspension. I would like to have some reliability bonuses, just because we're not going to be able to build many of these things. We'll do riveted armor and reduce the production costs. Secondary turrets, small cannon. No, that brings down reliability. Let's not do that. Special modules. Wet ammunition storage gives a bonus to reliability. Where does that put us on reliability? 141%. Okay, that's actually good news. So we can actually change some things here. Let's put a small cannon on that bad boy. We'll stick with diesel engine. Add some armor. Oh, the max speed is too low, so we've got to build up the engine too. How high can we go on engine? We can go 9. That still gives us really good reliability. Additional machine guns. I like that. I think that'll do. So let's go ahead and start building some of those. It's going to take a while to really have any of them. We don't have any divisions in basic training. I realize that. We're not going to build any armored divisions. I think we're just going to add some armor to what we already have. So I'm trying to get that supply hub done. So we're going to go to our economic policy here, and we can get a 300% bonus to supply hub construction speed for 120 days. So let's go ahead and do that. We're getting into December, almost January 1938 now. All right, we've added an armored recon company that'll go into each of our infantry divisions. Now we're going to go ahead and add field hospitals as well. We do have a decent amount of support equipment available, so that'll help with that. Hopefully that will help mitigate those losses even further, which right now it's looking good. His continue to climb. There's now almost a 50,000 in disparity between his losses and my own. Looking to see what else we can spend on here right now. There's not a lot. We'll get a monarchist in there. Alright, we got ourselves a new doctrine available. This is going to be delayed doctrine. It's going to give us a plus 10% to our organization. I think that's going to actually help a lot. That spends all our experience points though, so we don't have any more at the moment. Still, we're just trying to grind them down right now. We just haven't been able to move the line one way or another. Soviet Civil War. My goodness. Civil wars everywhere. We do have another research tree available to us now. This will help with our reinforcement rate. We're going to go down to boost Hungarian aviation industry. It's going to give me 2 more military factories. Alright, where are we at? He's lost 187, so it's actually 100,000 more than me. We really are just bleeding Austria dry right now. Bleeding them white, I guess is the term. But at some point, we've got to be able to counterattack. Looks like we might be able to do that here in the south. Awesome. Alright, can we push this up north now? I feel like this is our moment. We've inflicted enough casualties now. We might be able to finally get a breakthrough toward Vienna. Alright, he actually had left Vienna undefended, so we may be able to move into it here. We've got it. We've taken Vienna. We've got air doctrine available to us now. I'm thinking battlefield support is the way that I want to go there. Let's go ahead and get some engineer companies researched. You can see what we're working on now. Improved machine tools are about to come out. Okay, we've got him down by half toward capitulation. He's now lost 216,000 men. So this war of attrition is finally starting to bear some fruit. Now, if we can just maybe sneak in around and behind him, we'll be able to maybe isolate and destroy some of these divisions. And then we can really wrap this thing up rapidly. Okay, we did, in fact, surround Graz, and then we destroyed the division that was there. Where's that put us? He's now lost 227. We're at 64% towards victory. He's slowly getting significantly outnumbered here, and I think we ought to be able to break through. Salzburg is his capital now. We're going to have to go out and around to get there. You can't go up and through these mountains. So I think it's probably time to come up with a new battle plan. In this case, we're going to try to break through to Linz right here and see if we can't cut them off. There is a socialist menace that is growing that we're going to have to keep an eye on. We're probably going to have to team up with Germany to deal with them at some point. Alright. Now, can we do... Okay, we can't do that. We can do autarky. So let's go that route. But I think this is going to be over soon. France realigns her foreign policy. In particular, the web of alliances tying France to countries in Eastern Europe will be under scrutiny. Leaders in Poland, Czechoslovakia, and the Kingdom of Romania have so far refused to comment on the issue or any possible reactions. That might be good news for me. If France is going to be kind of hands-off on Eastern Europe, it might allow me to restore the Austro-Hungarian monarchy a little easier. Alright, we've got a couple of units isolated now. Let's see if we can't destroy them. This war may be over pretty soon. Awesome. Alright, he's now lost 244,000 men. This thing's just about done. Let's go for the capital. That might be enough to finish it. Salzburg is about to be ours. He's got 6 divisions there now. A little more than I was expecting. But we're moving into position quickly. Oh, he just cut us off. Look at that. We took Salzburg, but we lost some other territory. I had to pull my lines back because he actually got in behind me and was making a run on Budapest. So thankfully I was able to take care of that. I've redrawn my offensive line. We've got a much more stable situation this time. The casualties continue to mount for him, 263,000. And now we're isolating and destroying those pockets while keeping a solid front line moving forward toward Salzburg, his capital. Also got some new infantry equipment available to us now. And let's go ahead and, I think, start working on support weapons 3. Let's destroy this division that's caught up here so we can get these other ones moved over to the front lines. We're going to just hold him in place down here in the south while we make a push on the northern end of the mountains. Got a bunch of things happening now here. Mobile defense. Let's go ahead and get that. We're going to do army maneuvers. Hopefully by the time we get our next national focus, we will be in position to choose the one related to creating the Austria-Hungarian Empire again. Because we're very, very close to winning this war. And that'll give us our first glimpse of some of the new features available in the peace conference. Now, Austria won't have a navy, so I'm not going to be able to confiscate their naval vessels as part of it, but that is something you can do in the new downloadable content. Let's get some medium tanks going, because eventually we are going to want to build legit armored division force. French Commune declared war on the French on Nation Française, so it looks like we're going to see a socialist revolution happening in France. So we're going to have to keep an eye on the socialists. Okay, let's go ahead and try to break through in the south here, because I think we've got the numbers to do that. We'll continue to push through towards Salzburg here in the north. Still 89%. Is that it? Did we get it? I thought maybe we had the points, but once we take Salzburg, that should do it. There it is. Okay, so we see some equipment. Austria has capitulated. So here are the demands. You can take states by yourself. Obviously, I have no allies, so there's no one else I've got to compete with. I can puppet. I can change the government in the defeated country. There's no navy to be taken. We can add a demilitarized zone, add resource rights, add war reparations, so we can go all Treaty of Versailles on people if we want to, and we can dismantle their military industry. In this case, we want to take it all. We can't do it yet, though. So we'll start with what we can. And then I think we'll have to wait. Alright, let's go ahead and submit our demands to take everything, which is what we want to do in this case. And then I think that should be it. I mean, that's basically all we can do in this case. Confirm and exit. Now, the Kingdom of Hungary obviously looks much bigger now. Once we complete army maneuvers, we're going to go over here and we're going to choose restoration of Austria-Hungary. French Commune has won the French Civil War, so we've got Oh, the Dominion of Canada seeks immediate patriation after breakdowns in negotiations with Westminster and an unprecedented 63-hour debate. The Canadian Parliament has overturned the British North America Act, instead enshrining the Canadian Constitution in laws untouchable by the British Parliament. So it looks like Canada is going to break away from the British Commonwealth. Not sure what that'll mean for us moving forward. Restoration of Austria-Hungary. Let's do it. We are out of manpower again with 112,000 men right now. So I guess we're going to have to go ahead and... Oh, we can't do extensive conscription, unfortunately. We can't go to war economy either. Probably would be available if we were at war, but we're not. We have 96 air experience, so let's go ahead and start looking at building some airplanes. So let's see what we've got available to us. Fighter weapons, 4 light machine guns. I like that. 2 engines. I like that. We're not going to have a lot of these, so it'd be nice to have really good ones. Radio navigation, fantastic. We have dive brakes, non-strategic materials usage. Yeah, I don't think that's necessary for what we're doing here. Defense turrets, light machine gun defense. I like it. And then we have recon equipment, recon camera. I don't think that's necessary for what we want right now. Let's get 4 more machine guns on that bad boy. There's nothing else we can do as far as research goes. So these are for strategic bombing, air attack, agility. Okay. So let's start building some of those. They're not the best. We obviously have a lot of research to go. So we're about to see the restoration of Austria-Hungary. There we go. Germany speaks out against the Soviet Union. Look out, we might be about to see some war going on here. So it looks like Italy and Greece may be going to war. The Red Menace. Through both official and unofficial channels, the Germans have made it clear that the Soviet Socialist Republic is and has been the greatest threat to the stability of Europe since its inception 2 decades ago. They have urged us to remember we are not alone in enduring the threat of communism, and that only if the continent unites can we beat down the bear. All right. So now Germany is a monarchy, or a democracy at this point. So we are a monarchy, but you know what? So is the UK, and they fought on the side of democracy. So we've got to worry about France and Russia. We may be in the process of forming a new Central Powers and replaying World War I here, but maybe with the Brits and the Americans on our side this time. Let's see what else is over here. Protect Czechoslovakia. Let's go ahead and go down that path. We've got some free military factories available to us. We don't have manpower, though. So the end of the League of Nations. Soviets announced large-scale exercises. Oh boy. Okay, so non-aggression pact with Germany. Let's definitely accept that. So all the Yugoslavia, it looks like they're going down the path of communism as well. So what wars are actually going on right now? The Italian-Romanian War. It's Romania and Greece versus the UK and their dominions and Italy. So that's a pretty major war already. Japan and China are at war. Soviets are still fighting a civil war. It'll be interesting to see how that shakes out and what it all means. So Soviets are ramping up their military buildup. Czechoslovakia refuses my advances. Germany announces a Central European alliance. We'll see if they invite us to that. So does this mean that we can invade Czechoslovakia? They're improving relations with Germany. They have guarantee on Romania, but nothing to protect them. It's going to take 235 days to be able to put a focus in place to do this. We don't have the manpower to claim Galicia or Transylvania at the moment. So we'll have to go down another path for the time being. That one's not available to us either. Let's establish our Air Force. We are working on a number of research projects right now related to the Air Force, interwar medium airframes, survivability studies, things like that. I do want to start building up an Air Force. Okay, well, I recorded another couple of minutes there at the end, but for some reason the recording didn't happen. I don't know how that all went down. But anyway, just to fill you in on what happened at the very end there, Germany invited me to a Central European alliance, which I accepted, but Czechoslovakia also joined that alliance, so can very well invade the country that I'm now allied with, which kind of messes up my plans to recreate the historic Austro-Hungarian Empire. But it is going to help in the what I expect to be inevitable war with France and the Soviet Union. So we'll see what happens when we come back. If you like this and you want to see more, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and we'll be back soon with another episode. Thanks for watching.